You're watching the Central Post. This is Samiksha Ajay. As the clock ticks toward midnight and we get ready to step into 2026, there's one piece of news that feels almost symbolic to talk about tonight. India is now being projected as the world's fourth largest economy, overtaking Japan with a nominal GDP of around $4.18 trillion. Sounds big, sounds historic. But the real question is, what does this actually mean for us as citizens on the ground? Just a decade ago, India was hovering somewhere in the top 10. Today, only the United States, China, and Germany are ahead of us. The final confirmation will come from the IMF early next year, once all the numbers are locked in, but projections from the World Bank, IMF, and India's own data are clearly pointing in this direction. So yes, this is a milestone, but milestones are meant to be paused at and reflect, not blindly celebrated. So how did India get here? In the July-September quarter this year, India's real GDP grew by 8.2%, the strongest growth we have ever seen in the last 6 quarters. On paper, that's impressive. But realistically, one should know, why did it happen now? Domestic consumption picked up. People started spending again. Business began investing more confidently. Manufacturing showed the signs of revival, helped by years of infrastructure spending and policy reforms. And then there's the service sector. Still doing the heavy lifting, still our backbone. Add to that strong remittances and service exports, and India managed to stay relatively stable even when global trade was shaky. But let's be very honest. This growth didn't come without cracks. Global uncertainty hasn't disappeared. Commodity prices are still volatile, major economies are changing policies fast, and despite that, India has grown faster than most large economies. That's why institutions like the RBI, IMF, and World Bank continue to project India as one of the fastest growing major economies, with growth estimates hovering between 6.5 to 7.3% in the coming years. Now here comes the exciting part and also the dangerous one. Many economists say India could overtake Germany in the next 2.5 to 3 years, potentially touching $7.3 trillion by 2030. But let me ask you something. Is becoming a larger economy the same as becoming a better one? Because when we shift from GDP rankings to per capita income, the picture changes sharply. India's per capita income still stands as around $2,800 to $2,900. That's nowhere close to Japan, Germany, or any other advanced economy. So yes, the economy is growing, but who is that growth reaching? Are we creating enough quality jobs? Is rural India growing the same pace as the urban India? And more importantly, are young Indians entering a future of opportunities or uncertainty? This is where the real challenge of India lies. Skilling our workforce isn't optional anymore, it's urgent. Improving ease of living in smaller towns and villages isn't cosmetic, it's essential. And ensuring that growth doesn't look good on charts but feels real in people's life, that's the test. So tonight, as we welcome a new year, this milestone deserves cautious optimism. Not blind celebration, not cynical dismissal. It shows what India can achieve when policy, resilience, and efforts align. But it also reminds us that becoming a truly developed nation isn't about rankings alone. It's about opportunity, dignity, and shared prosperity. So here's to 2026. Not just bigger numbers, but better outcomes. Not just faster growth, but fairer growth. Wishing you and your loved ones a very peaceful, thoughtful, and prosperous new year ahead. Keep watching the Central Post.